In celebration of the launch of LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, this week I'm counting down the best LEGO games of all time. Number 84, LEGO Duplo Zoo. Today's phrase is not for me. As in, no thank you, I'm good. No offense, but not for me. I don't want to discuss this any further. And that's that last part, right? It's a polite thing to say not for me. It is inoffensive, but at the same time, there's a finality to it. Once you've deemed a thing not for you, you've put it in a hole that's hard to scrape out of. And the weird thing about video games is that you can love video games. You can love them to death. You can play video games all day, read about video games all day, watch videos about video games all day, and still most video games are going to be not for you. I feel like a new game announcement on any given week has basically an 85% chance of being not for you. And so I would like to take a look at a couple of game announcements from this very week. Firstly, there's Return to Monkey Island, which was announced with this 1-minute trailer this week. It's a bizarre trailer in that there's nothing appealing here that is even meant to be appealing to anyone who doesn't already love the franchise. This is the one line.
Ron Gilbert told me he'd never make another Monkey Island unless...
I don't know who's laughing. That joke is for a fraction of the people watching this trailer. And I think inside jokes can work. For the record, they need to either, one, be quick, or two, innocuous, right? Nobody's noticing if nobody knows about the joke, they don't even notice it happened. And so no, that Skulls joke does not land for me. It doesn't make the game look more appealing. I've never actually heard of Monkey Island before. I had to look this up. It's been around for a while. The thing that makes this game interesting, I guess, is that Terminator style. It's the third game. It's going to be the new third game in the franchise. They're basically undoing the old third one, which didn't have Ron Gilbert involved, while still keeping some characters that were developed in the sequels. Now, as someone who has never laughed at a monkey in my entire life, and also someone who thinks this particular trailer is an absolute dog cough, I'm still happy for this game to be announced. For this thing to exist is a good thing. It's just not for me. Completely different kind of game announcement. This week, Remedy told the world that through a special publishing deal with Rockstar, they will be remaking Max Payne 1 and 2 as one game. Kind of a nice announcement in that it's just a tweet and a press release on their investor site, which is, to me, way preferable. I would love to see more of things like this as opposed to like a suspenseful CG trailer like, you've been waiting for Max Payne to come back. Don't bother. Thanks for saving some money here. This is the most interesting part to me. Under the development agreement signed today, which means this was hot off the presses. Remedy will develop the games as a single title for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series XS using its proprietary Northlight game engine, which is what they used for Control. The game's development budget will be financed by Rockstar Games, the size of which will be in line with a typical Remedy AAA game production. Under the agreement, Remedy has a royalty opportunity after Rockstar Games has recouped its development, marketing, and other costs for distributing and publishing the game. So that's not normally something we're privy to. And again, it's worth mentioning this was posted on the investor site. But no, if you look at even when Alan Wake 3 was announced, there's nothing here to indicate at which point Epic will start giving Remedy more money. And I have to be honest with you, I don't know the power of Max Payne. I don't know at which point Max Payne 1 and 2, if it ever will even, recoup the costs that Rockstar invests in it. So I've never heard of Max Payne before, so I had to look this up. Look at this. This looks insanely stupid to me. But I could see it filling a gap, a content gap, right? We don't have this kind of silly noir action game out there right now. There has to be an audience for it. It could work maybe. But let's say Remedy had that same deal for Crossfire X, for which they designed a campaign for. I don't think they're getting those royalties. I don't know if Crossfire X is recouping its costs If you don't know what Crossfire X is, if you're living under some cave, if you're living deep under some cave, Crossfire X is the Xbox exclusive console version of the wildly popular Crossfire series. And so Remedy made just the campaign for this game. And man, the promotion was so weird. It was one of those games, I think, that was more valuable as an E3 trailer than it is now as a product. The game's out. Came out 2 months ago. 4% of reviewers recommend it. In my mind, it is completely fathomable that this is the last time in your life you'll ever hear the word Crossfire X ever again. And it's one of those rare cases where I don't even feel a little bit bad about it. It's one of those rare cases, it's the kind of game that is just so clearly not for me, for almost everyone. That it's okay, you were right. You were right to look at this game and assess it as not for me. Not every game is worth your time and attention. This is proof of that. But going back to the 2 games that were announced this week, I don't want to say that they're doomed. I don't want to say that I'm burying them in the hole of not for me. What if Return to Monkey Island features brand new music from Aqua? I'm back in. What if Max Payne 1 and 2 adds a button that allows you to dance in slow motion during bullet time? I'll buy it. And then also, I think we have to talk about when games that I assess as for me don't work out. Like Chocobo GP. Chocobo GP is a game that when it was announced, I praised it on this very show. I appreciate this. It released last month. I played it for several hours, and with no real hard feelings, I never want to see it ever again. This game catfished me. And then there's the case of something like that Radiohead Kid Amnesiac experience that Epic put out last year, which is something that is so clearly, obviously, for me, it's insane that I haven't tried it yet. It's like I'm afraid to. It's like, if I could explain it, just being scared to have a bad time doing something you know you should love. So I just avoid it altogether. Which is something that could explain like a lot of what I got going on in my life. Last week, it was late. There was a late night last week where it's like you're scrolling for like a half hour just trying to find something to watch. And what I ended up landing on was the incredible Burt Wonderstone with Steve Carell, where he's a magician. I paid $1.99 to watch this on Amazon Prime because I knew I would hate it. And I did in fact hate it. It's actually a horrible movie. Just irredeemably unfunny. It makes me resentful of anyone who thought it was a good idea to make it. All of them did a bad job. And yet, it was exactly what I wanted. Sometimes not for me can be a good thing. I slept great that night. And I think in a way that's maybe why this show continues to find an audience. I looked into my data. Apparently a little under half of my patrons are just looking for something they hate to fall asleep to. And I'm happy to provide, baby. I'll be back here next week, and I hope to see you then. Thanks for watching. So something that my Twitch audience regularly has a hard time with is determining whether I'm joking or not. I think a lot of content creators out there like to be more overt with their humor, whereas sometimes I'm just kind of playing it straight. And I realize this episode in particular, it can be kind of unclear when I'm joking and when I'm not. So I'm introducing a new segment, bit or not a bit. I've never actually heard of Monkey Island before. I had to look this up. That is a bit. I have heard of Monkey Island before. Kind of a nice announcement in that it's just a tweet and a press release on their investor site, which is, to me, way preferable. I would love to see more of things like this. That was not a bit. I do sincerely feel like some game announcements, if all you have is the game announcement and nothing else to show, a tweet works, baby. I've never heard of Max Payne before, so I had to look this up. That was a bit. I have heard of Max Payne before. Crossfire X is the Xbox exclusive console version of the wildly popular Crossfire series. Now that is That's not a bit in that Crossfire is actually internationally insanely popular. One of those just like free-to-play games you've never heard of before, but like people love it. But also, it's like, it's there to sell the bit that caring about what franchises somebody knows about is absurd already. And from what I understand, the guy's actual name is Max Payne. It's a little much if you ask me. Sorry, I'm getting a text from Pinch. Oh, he's got some joke ideas. What is Pamela Anderson's favorite video game? That was not a bit. What if Return to Monkey Island features brand new music from Aqua? I'm back in. That's a bit. That was me thinking, Kyle, try to think of a funny band. And then, after 5 of my usual joke bands, finally came up with Aqua. What if Max Payne 1 and 2 adds a button that allows you to dance in slow motion during bullet time? I'll buy it. That is not a bit. I think that is an insanely good idea. Just honestly, like, think of this and how sick this would be in slow motion in Max Payne. I paid $1.99 to watch this on Amazon Prime. That was not a bit. It can be kind of unclear when I'm joking and when I'm not. So I'm introducing a new segment. Bit or not a bit? That was a bit. Dear audience, I fooled you again.